This time on Low Boost, we're putting a new steering wheel on our E36 Turbo LS swap. If you guys are new to the channel, this is my BMW E36 that I Turbo LS swapped. Done a bunch of stuff to the car, so if you're new to the channel, check out the entire build series that I have in this thing. It's over 40 episodes. It's really in detail if you're looking to swap an LS into an E36, any BMW, or really any car. I kind of go into detail with all this stuff, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. Well, I've done a number of things to the E36, one of which is I upgraded the seats because your stock seats were terrible. So these are Amazon seats. I did not have Vaders, so I upgraded to these seats on Amazon. They're actually really comfortable and they're good quality. I'll put a link to them in the description below. The interior on this, for the most part, is in great shape. However, this steering wheel is the original one. It's really crusty underneath, and I bought this like cover just to kind of get me by, and it really doesn't work that great. Not that it doesn't work, it doesn't look great. So I'm gonna be upgrading this entire thing. But I would like to keep the functionality of the airbag, which is good because it's a street car. So what I did was I went and found a steering wheel that was cheap online, that was trashed. I'm gonna make it my own. So this is a BMW E46 M3 steering wheel. I can continue to use the airbag, I'm pretty sure, and keep and retain all the airbag functionality. This also has some steering wheel buttons, which I don't know if I'll be able to program, but if I can, I'd love to program some stuff in the car to the buttons. But the steering wheel is shot up and it's chopped up pretty bad. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap it with an all new leather wrap steering wheel with some of the M stitching as well. So let's get started. All right, first thing you're gonna wanna do is to take out your Torx bits because the two back bolts on here are gonna be with the Torx. So you're gonna need that. Thing pops off pretty easily afterwards. You're gonna have to undo a couple more inside the front of the steering wheel, and then that front plate pops off. You also want to make sure the steering wheel buttons are unplugged as well, and then it does pop off pretty easily. We're gonna set that aside because actually what we're gonna do is we're gonna wrap it and then put a thing back on over it, and that kind of holds it all in place when we're all done wrapping the steering wheel. The kit comes with everything you're gonna need to wrap the steering wheel, and it has some pretty easy directions to follow. You do want to make sure you have the cover going in the right direction. There's a front and a back. It's not that hard to screw up. And I also made sure once I had everything on triple checked that I had tape, and I put the tape on around both sides and then kind of holds it in place before you start stitching it, which is the long process. Okay, so got about half the wheel done. Stitching looks pretty good. That side was a little bit rougher. That side was a little rougher. I couldn't get the two to touch together quite perfectly there, and that's my fault. But it's tucked up underneath there, and it's in the back, so you can't see it very good. But so far, so good. If I put this back on, tuck everything back in, you're not going to notice it anywhere really there. So I'll continue. This episode is brought to you by Extreme Powerhouse. Whether you have a BMW, an Audi, Ford Mustang, or a bunch of other cars, make sure you check them out. They have a great selection of performance parts for a bunch of different types of vehicles. And if you go on there and use the coupon code LOWBOOST, all one word, you get access to some extra special discounts. I found this part to be particularly tricky because I wanted to keep one string throughout the entire thing instead of tying them off. So I had to keep feeding the entire string all the way through for every single time. I also skipped my stitching and went through one side and the other. I could have doubled it up, but I kind of liked this design, and it looks pretty similar to what the instructions said, but you can double up and go on every single stitch to stitch it through. But going this way just ended up, I think, looking better in my opinion. Everybody has their own different ways of doing it. You can do it, double it up as well if you really wanted to. I think looking back, if I did it again, I would double stitch it because it is a stronger stitch going all the way around. It does also take twice as long. Expect yourself to take 4 or 5 hours to really do this wheel properly. All right, so all in all, it took a few hours, so don't let it overwhelm you. But came out okay. Some spots are better than others. Some spots are better than others. It wasn't that bad. I wish this was up a little more. I wish this side was centered a little more. I can live with that. If I had to do it again, I'd be much better at it. But really, I think it came out okay for what it was. Anything that doesn't look good on it is not the manufacturer's fault. It's me, because I'm not great at it. But you definitely can do it. I'm gonna put the cap back on, tuck it in, and show you what it looks like done. I think I probably could have got away with stitching every single one instead of every other one, but it wouldn't have that pattern. And I don't know if it would have looked as good. It would have taken twice as long, but I kind of like that pattern. I know you guys might be here watching because of the Amazon steering wrap, and potentially maybe because of my E36 Turbo LS swap. But if you like BMWs, I have more than just one on my YouTube channel. Here is a G30 540i I have videos on, and I also have a full video series on my old BMW M235. I have a whole playlist on that. Modifications, track use, JB4, Dynon Springs, did a whole bunch of parts reviews on that. So make sure to check that out as well. So there you have it, 30 bucks on Amazon, and you can rewrap your E46 M3 wheel. Or not just the M3 wheels, because the M3 wheels have the little notch here. They have other ones that you can do just about any wheel. But obviously I wanted an E46 M3 wheel because it's going to be a nice upgrade for my E36. Stay tuned to future episodes because I got to get a new airbag for this, and I'm going to try to wire some of the buttons on here for functionality. I don't know how far that's going to go or what I'm going to have them do. I can have them do whatever I want, I guess, if I really want to get creative with it. But we'll see how that goes. I do want to get it on the car. I want to drive with it. It looks a hell of a lot nicer than the one that I have. So if you guys are wondering, I'll put a link to this wrap in the description below. But even if you're not getting this exact wrap, it helps out the channel if you click the link, because if you end up buying something else on Amazon in the next 24 hours, it helps the channel out too. So I appreciate all of your guys' support. I'm always down to do reviews like this and take a chance to see if it works for me, because then I can showcase and see if it'll work for you guys or tell you if it's crap. I'll always be honest. So thank you guys very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.